when the deal goes down, all of this talk about rules, we make them up as we go along.
That we as a committee put in place. So those are the reserves. What I am recommending is using, and go ahead and violate the policy that we put in place in
And that does pass unanimously. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right. Before we move on, I just want to take the opportunity. The next item is public comment, but I do want to. This is a new day. This is a new commission. Welcome everybody. And I just wanted to just kind of talk about for a minute just some of the things so we know what to expect of each other as we're getting into this agenda. One is, we'll take a break, and if anybody feels that we need to take a break at a particular time and I just keep moving on through things, feel free to put your light on, and certainly we can do that. I do anticipate we'll be able to get through this meeting probably within a reasonable time. So at this time, I'm not necessarily setting a time for lunch. So we'll deal with that as we move through the agenda, and if necessary, we'll get to that. If anybody does need to get up and leave, please just make sure that I'm aware and let me know, so I know that we can even take a break if necessary. Also, just want to remind everybody, and this is just really for now, that when I do ask for a consensus, I'm looking for basically consensus that all of us agree, there's no objection. And typically that's for more administrative, nothing that we just bring up as something to vote on. So consensus would be for now. Like I said, that's the way we're handling things. So that would be unanimous. The other is I would just ask this commission, just so that we work together, grow together. I would just suggest and ask if any of you would agree and like to make a motion, but I'd ask that we suspend the rules for the ordinance number 2016-04, particularly as it pertains to the time limit and the number of times a commissioner may speak, and allowing the mayor to use discretion. So just to get us through this meeting, we have some very important issues on here with the ordinances and so on. So if somebody would like to make a motion to that effect, we can entertain it. Commissioner or Vice Mayor Karras.
I'll move to suspend the rules for all items on the agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay. Before I put that out, suspend the rules of ordinance number 2016-04 as it pertains to
All items, not just that ordinance, all items.
Okay, I just need some clarity on that. I mean, it would apply to the whole meeting
Correct.
agenda?
So in other words, there's no time limit, no point of order, no point of questioning. It's just, let's have a real meeting.
Okay, so just for clarity in that motion, as I said, it's what you're moving is to suspend the rules of ordinance number 2016.
Correct.
Yes, 04, as it pertains to the time limits
And all of the above.
and speaking on all items of this agenda.
You got it.
And I have a second by Commissioner McDowell. Okay, does anybody want to speak to that?
I plan on bringing up a amended ordinance later under commission comment to bring up in the December meeting that has a complete underlined strike-through version of the ordinance for the meetings. So I will bring that up later. Okay. Thank you.
All right, seems like we are all on the same page with this, and I will do my best. And please know anytime any of you feel that it's time to stop, you have Robert's rules to say, let's call the question, and we'll deal with that. So this board has the ability to be included in as we move through this meeting. And with that, let's take a vote on that motion. Okay, and that passes unanimously.
morning, again. Connie Bruni, taxpayer in Northport. I think Commissioner McDowell said it the other day. Saturday, we celebrated. Today, we get to work. Actually, Monday, I'm sure you were working on Sunday. I have 5 items I'm hoping to bring in front of you. The first is that already Vice Mayor Carasone has addressed in her comment, which I appreciate. The debate, open debate, true debate, often needs more time than 5 minutes or a specific time period in order for all of you to be able to make proper informed decisions. And I hope that you will allow one another that respect, mutual respect, to get that done. I'm very happy that you have suspended the rules for today, and I hope that you will look at that. You've already indicated you will. That's awesome.
I do have, or we do have, 3 members of our Charter Review Advisory Board with us today. Now, this is not per se a joint meeting, but certainly in tackling this issue, if you're all okay, each has filled out a public comment card, just so it's on the record there, but
I thought this was a joint meeting.
it was called as a special meeting, because that's literally what the direction was that we gave, but we didn't say it was a joint meeting, and so it wasn't posted
Well,
as a
I
joint
mean,
meeting.
the whole reason why you had it on this day was so that the charter board could attend. It was
Okay.
a joint meeting.
So my point is dealing with what, you know, how it was posted, and we've suspended the rules, and if you're all okay, I believe that they've got their public comment cards in, and that we can allow for the Charter Review Board members to interact with the commission throughout this.
Well, I would
item.
hope so, because that's what the intent
Is everybody okay? Now, this brings us to item number B, which is the discussion and possible action regarding the proposed changes to the charter. And we did have a joint meeting with the Charter Advisory Board, and we set this meeting date for us to get together after they had compiled all of the feedback and brought us something back. As you're aware, they did have a meeting, but they did not compile and go through the feedback, and so that was not done. They pretty much kind of booted it back to the commission for us to do our thing and then go from there if we put something together and want them to review that. I do have, or we do have, 3 members of our Charter Review Advisory Board with us today. Now, this is not per se a joint meeting, but certainly in tackling this issue, if you're all okay, each has filled out a public comment card, just so it's on the record there, but
I thought this was a joint meeting.
it was called as a special meeting because that's literally what the direction was that we gave, but we didn't say it was a joint meeting, and so it wasn't posted
Well,
as a
I
joint
mean,
meeting.
the whole reason why it had it on this day was so that the charter board could attend. It was
Okay.
a joint meeting.
So my point is dealing with what you know, how it was posted, and we've suspended the rules, and if you're all okay, I believe that they've got their public comment cards in, and that we can allow for the Charter Review Board members to interact with the commission throughout this.
Well, I would
item.
hope so, because that's what the intent
Is everybody okay with that?
We went back and we did listen to it, and it was said that they would be invited to come if they could.
Right.
Good morning. Connie
Morning.
Bruni, Northport taxpayer. I was listening as I was driving in, and Mr. Hanks, we can't hear you. You've got to talk in the microphone. Can't hear you.
Hello? Hello?
Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, I was listening on the way in on my phone, so I just wanted to make sure you knew. Can't hear you.
I don't think
not
they're
working?
up
Now it is.
very high.
Maybe. I
leaning
could hear
into it.
everybody else, but I couldn't hear you for what
I
it's
think
worth.
you have to really get on top of it, like
I don't go for
right
that sort of-
here.
It's ticking down.
I don't like eating microphones.
The document that you have, I did send to you very late on Saturday night. It was like somewhere between 11:33 and 11:56, I think, was on the phone. So it was very late. I'm not a great typist. If I could have sent it to you in handwriting, it would have been much easier. It would have been 3 days prior. Just, I'm not a great typist. So that's why it took a long time. That's why you got the notes in handwriting, because I said, I'm not going to type that stuff. I'm glad to see that the CRAB members are here, and if you have any questions of me, I'm happy to answer. My only purpose in doing this was to give you something to start with. That's all. I have no personal attachment to anything that's there whatsoever. I'm not a lawyer. It hasn't been vetted, but I tried to take what you all had said, what I've heard other people say, and I tried very hard to incorporate it and make it flow, make it simple, make it direct, and make it consistent, for instance, among your charter officers, because that's what I kept hearing people say. So I have no personal attachment to any of it. You'll notice that the more controversial things, I just put area of discussion. I didn't even try to touch some of those issues, not at all. I think that's for you all to do. I'm not trying to inject my own personal opinion into that. So really, that was my only desire, was to help the CRAB and you guys to have that conversation. But if you have a question of me, I am more than happy to answer anything that you want.
Vice Mayor, did you have a question?
I wanted to say, I do have a question, but thank you, Connie, because I got to tell you, this is fantastic. This is exactly what my intention was when I had made the motion for the Charter Review Advisory Board to do. So, thank you.
I don't like eating microphones.
The document that you have, I did send to you very late on Saturday night. It was like somewhere between 11:33 and 11:56, I think, was on the phone. So it was very late. I'm not a great typist. if I could have sent it to you in handwriting, it would have been much easier. It would have been 3 days prior. Just, I'm not a great typist. So that's why it took a long time. That's why you got the notes in handwriting, because I said, I'm not going to type that stuff. I'm glad to see that the CRAB members are here. And if you have any questions of me, I'm happy to answer. My only purpose in doing this was to give you something to start with. That's
Question in here is when you look at the original language of the charter, section 3.01 in B, which is copied here in this new document, it leaves off the rest of the sentence that had said, and in accordance with the election procedures established by ordinance. The city currently does have an ordinance, elections ordinance, and basically in that ordinance it says, as provided for in the state statute. So it refers back to the statute. But if there's particular things that the city is not going to do exactly as it is stated in the statute, and we are going to use the home rule of tweaking that language as it does provide for, I think it's in section 106 for the cities to do, I think we need to be careful about eliminating language that provides.
Okay,
that
help me out
ability.
here. Where is it that it is referred to in the charter?
In the original charter,
Our new little wannabe, well,
that's
it
a
could
new
be in that,
document for me to
yeah.
highlight, but it
ahead.
should be somewheres around of the original document, somewheres around page,
well, what's one section what? Section what?
section Article 3,
Right, okay.
okay, somewheres around page 10.
Yeah, 3 as in A, B, 1, 2. I mean,
B.
okay, so where it talks about districts,
It says the city commission with all legislative powers vested
got it.
therein shall consist of 5
3.01.
commissioners elected by the electors of the city as provided herein and in accordance with the election procedures established by ordinance. And I'm just mindful of if this commission is going to set up parameters as far as whether it's special election and removal and, just different types of things that we are going to tweak for the purposes of the city and not follow specifically the way the default Florida statute language is, then we wouldn't want to remove that. We would want to keep that in there.
So can we ask the little birdie in the back if this has been placed somewhere else?
If the birdie in the back will come up and speak at a microphone, sure.
Can you clarify for Susan and I, are you still talking about section?
We're talking about section 2.01
In the new
in
document.
the new document, that there is a portion that's removed, but was actually in 3.01 section B.
We got it. We just needed to
Okay.
clarify where we were at.
Yeah.
I did too, that's why I was asking.
Madam Mayor, may we invite Ms. Bruni to come up since she is the author of the document?
Oh, what a
We are
great
gonna have
idea.
questions. Can she just have a seat? That way we're not having to ask her to come up each time.
Absolutely. She's got her computer back there, so as long as,
Yeah,
sure,
we have plugs
absolutely.
up there too.
Yeah. Ms.
Although
Wright.
you might have to move over because that screen is huge. I'm telling you.
Mrs. Bruni, go ahead.
Thank you. The answer to the question is no. I don't believe it's elsewhere in the document.
Okay.
And it makes good sense. I think your point makes absolute sense. I think I took that from something else that was done. It's another one of those instances where I was trying to compile everything, but I think your point is well taken. So, and the reason I brought the computer is it's a Word document, and so as you're making changes, I thought I would incorporate those as much as possible, and then I can just give them to the city clerk and save her time. That's
The new Mark. See?
all.
Awesome. She took your job. No.
Is that okay?
It's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Thank-
move.
And I would,
Thank you
I
for
would
that.
suggest Ms. Bruni coming up to the desk with the rest of the board. Okay.
Okay.
So Consensus? Oh,
The crab had already removed that as well, putting that it was covered in here. So are we moving it back? Is that what you're saying? We're just
where is it covered? Where does it say it's covered?
Originally, the crab had moved it to 3.02. I don't know if you have their strike
That's what
through.
we're trying to find. Okay.
If you
Yeah,
look
we're
at the
working with-
bottom of the crabs, it gives you an explanation of every single move. That
Oh,
they
right, we did that. Right, okay, 3.02.
But it's a matter
Jay.
of, yeah, Jay.
Okay, so it's not in here.
No, that was state statute 3.02, I think.
What's that?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
It was covered by a state statute.
So
So
it's
it's
actually
not that
covered-
it was moved.
No, it's
it
covered
was
by the state
because it's
statute.
Right.
Covered by state statute.
Well, actually, the document I'm looking at, which is the revision that was provided by CRAB, does say on my document, for that particular notation, covered by 3.02J.
Which
But-
they're talking
but
about
it was
state
not.
statute.
I think it says state statute 3.02.
Well, it doesn't say it, and that's
There is
probably
no
what you
state
meant. It probably just doesn't say state statute. Because we don't have a 3.02J.
I don't think we have
Right.
a state statute wouldn't be
I was gonna say,
3.02J
yeah, we don't
either.
have a state statute.
we
It
do.
would be like FSS 389 or
Hang on,
5.
guys. 3.02J, it says, "The provisions of the general election laws of the state of Florida shall apply to elections held under this charter." And it's on page 15. It's on page 15.
Which
It is
one?
Oh.
Page 15.
The
3.02.
There is no J in the charter.
Oh, I see it, I
JK,
see it,
And then it's right above 3.03 where it says compensation.
right. But it's not adding that, it's saying something completely different.
I'm in
Oh, okay, you're going with what they're striking.
So does everybody see that?
Do you see the charter? There is no J in the charter.
added, it's a line that's added.
Oh, I see.
No, she's going with the crab sheet.
Right here.
CRAB recommended changes.
Yeah, the crab recommended.
Yeah.
I see what
But-
you're talking about.
Another ball game, hold on.
Okay, so if we all get in the same document, which is the
Maybe.
CRAB recommended changes, and we look at page 15, we will see that there is a J. However, even though it's saying it was moved, it wasn't moved. It actually says something different.
Correct.
So, yeah, that says something different.
I'm gonna cry. I got too many documents.
Okay, so can we add the wording in to the new document?
Yes, we can,
So are we adding in what it says on page 15, or do you want to add in the original?
what I was suggesting, and it's something that I think we can put a tab next to, just as we go through the rest of the document to make sure things are consistent. But what I was suggesting is that we leave in that part of that first sentence that says, and in accordance with election procedures established by ordinance. So if we go to the new document now that we are working from, under section 2.01. Okay. Oh, I could use some of those tabs too.
Which one you want? I got yellow, I got orange, I got,
Okay, so what I'm suggesting is under section 2.01 of the new document we're working from,
on B,
on
just add
B,
it.
just, it would read, "The city commission with all legislative powers vested therein shall consist of 5 commissioners elected by the voters of this city as provided herein and in accordance with election procedures established by ordinance."
I agree.
Good. Good.
And hold on for 1 second so I can write this down. And put a different color tab.
Yeah, because I definitely want to keep that in mind.
one more time with election.
Okay, item 2.01B would read, "The city commission with all legislative powers vested therein, comma, shall consist of 5 commissioners elected by the voters of this city as provided herein and in accordance with election procedures established by ordinance," period.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now,
That gets a green tab because it's
yeah,
been
thank
changed.
you.
do we decide to go with the voters?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did, and
Okay.
particularly in this, as we're going through this.
Well, actually, we should go through anything like that should be changed. I just have a little scenario for you. If we had 1,500 qualified electors, only 500 people showed up to vote for whatever maybe was an amendment, okay? But the other 1,000 did not show up, the 500 lose, okay? That's why I was trying to think of why we did that. Have you got what I'm saying? No. Okay. If you had qualified electors, okay, and you're using qualified electors, okay? And let's just say we just had 1,500 in the city, okay? And we were looking to pass something or to reject something. If 1,000 of them didn't show up and the other 500 all voted to do it, they lose. Because we're going by qualified electors, all right? And they didn't show up.
If somebody doesn't decide to vote, that's their prerogative.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, but you got the word elected by qualified electors, okay? And so you're counting everybody, for that vote, and 1,000 don't show up, the other 500 vote the other way, the 500 lose.
I think what you're doing is you're trying to
Change the
define.
election law?
Well, no. Well, I think what he's trying to do is you're trying to define. Because I guess by definition, people could challenge a vote like that. By definition, they can come and they can say, well, by definition, what are you saying? And so if 1,000 people didn't vote, 500 did, and we passed it because 500 voted yes, even though only 500 voted unanimously yes. One of those other 1,000, I'm guessing what you're trying to do, could technically come in and say, listen, the majority of electors did not approve this.
Correct.
That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Now, that may have never happened, but this is somewhere where somebody could come in and say the majority of electors didn't do that. Now let's take it to court and see if a judge agrees with me on this. Mm-hmm. Because somebody
You
didn't
said
like it.
exactly what I was trying to say, but I was kind of stumbling around it, and you put it.
And that kind of goes along with what Mr. Moriarty was saying, where in state
Define the
statute,
term
it
is what-
refers to elector, leaving the consistency. So, using what
Which
you're
I think
saying.
it's understood. I think it's understood in court too what that means. There's a precedence there of
Yeah,
understanding.
you'd be hard pressed to.
I think you'd be hard
change
pressed
the
to.
federal and state precedents of.
Yeah, that's what I'm
election laws.
saying. So I don't think it is a.
There's some things that are argumentative and some things that aren't. This
I
is one
think
of
any
those
good
not.
judge would say, well, let's
I
look
think
at the
moving to
intent.
voters is fine.
Any good judge would say, let's look at the intent behind electors, and this is what it's been shown.
I have a light from the city attorney. He'd like to say something.
This is a mess.
Thank you, Mayor. If the commission would look at 10.01, and this is relevant to the conversation.
Is this the 10.01 of the current charter?
Yeah, which.
Of the
where?
current charter.
Which where, help?
10.01B,
Okay, the commission may, by ordinance, there it is.
as well as 15.01. To echo what Mr. Pedersen is saying, prior to the change from electors to voters, you need 10% of the electors. Now what they're saying is 10% of the voters.
That's
So
a
if you
proportion
have,
thing.
But
so if you have 4,000 voters and 400 people wanted it, whereas you need 10% of 60,000, normally you need 6,000, you're potentially diluting the pool by changing from electors to voters, and I believe that's what Mr. Pedersen was driving at, and what Commissioner Hanks was driving at.
And that's where I think, city attorney, that it may be appropriate, as what we said when we were looking at 2.01, that for that specific provision in B that's talking about commissioners elected by the voters, it may be appropriate to use voters. However, the particular provision you just pointed out about petitioning something, it's more appropriate to use electors because the word voters doesn't apply in that particular situation. So that's why we need to, you can't just carte blanche change the word, electors to voters. We need to be cognizant as we're going through and fit it where it's most appropriate.
Exactly as I understood it, Mayor. Exactly.
Somebody said something.
Yes.
The Charter Review Board actually changed the word voter, the electors to voters consistently throughout the whole document.
That's what
So
it
that's
said.
why
and it
we're
may be
trying-
problematic.
As we go through it in that route, I mean, are we now going to be changing each place that it says voters versus electors? Or would it make more sense to just use electors, throughout the entire document as it was in the original charter to get rid of the confusion between switching each one of those words?
No, because in some cases, electors may be appropriate, and in some cases, voters may be appropriate. They do have two separate definitions. In this particular case in 2.01, I'm trying to summarize our brain here, Mayor. In 2.01, voters is appropriate, but when you go to Article 1001, when we start talking about petitions, electors is appropriate. So that's why, as we go through this document, we have agreed that we're going to be cognizant of the fact that the word voters has been changed from electors and make sure it's used appropriately throughout the entire document.
Okay, we're good?
Good, good, good.
Looks, yeah. Yes, we suspended the rules because this is a very unique
Thank you.
environment, and we appreciate everybody's participation here.
Would it be helpful